Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about gentle skincare and sometimes we talk about being gentle with yourself. And today I am bringing you another episode of my skincare as self-care series. And really the goal of this group of videos that I've been making throughout the month of January is really to link image care with self-care, because as much as we love our skincare routines, it is really image care, but there is a way to go deeper with it. There is a way to take that time that we all give ourselves and really savor the moment. So if you haven't caught the other episodes, you can check out my YouTube playlist, Skincare as Self-Care, and you can see all the videos there. Now today I want to talk about some of the deeper life lessons that I have been taught through my skincare practice. My love for skincare goes really, really deep, and throughout the years, it actually has been a big part of my life and life changes and my growth as a person. And so today I just want to share a few of those lessons with you. And I really do encourage you, after watching this video and maybe getting a little hint of inspiration, to take a deeper look at your skincare practice and see if there aren't lessons that have been mirrored back to you through your use of skincare and your journey through the skincare rabbit hole, and see if those lessons haven't been reflected in other areas of your life too. It really will surprise you how deep this hobby, this practice can really go. So without further ado, let's jump right into the life lessons I've learned through skincare. So the first lesson is trusting myself. This was actually a lesson, honestly, sometimes it's still a lesson that I'm taking on in my skincare practice, but especially at the beginning of my obsession, with skincare, I wanted to know all the things. I wanted to try all the products, but at the same time, I really didn't know that much, because at a certain point, we're all beginners, right? We're all just learning. We're all just getting started. And so I did not trust myself because I just didn't have the experience. I just didn't know. And so I would look to others for advice, especially at that time, bloggers. And I did just kind of get trapped into well, if that person says it's good, it must be good. And I'm just going to get it. And that is actually really helpful. That's actually what I do, is put out reviews to help other people kind of ease the burden of making choices and finding skincare that works, right? And it means a lot to me that my channel is a trusted source for you. But on the other hand, you always have to take your experiences into consideration. You can't just blindly trust somebody, not because they're misleading you, but just because skin is so individual. The real journey is just getting to know yourself, getting to know your skin and how it reacts. And that's something a blogger or a YouTuber, it's something that I could never tell you about your skin. You just kind of have to go down that path and know that it takes time and know that it takes trial and error. And at the beginning of my journey, that is not something that I really fully embraced. I didn't want to do skincare bad, right? I was really obsessed with the rules and the orders and how to do everything right. And look, information is helpful, but at a certain point, you just have to jump in, both feet. You just got to get in there, and you have to trust yourself, trust your judgment, and be okay with being wrong. You have to be okay with failure, because like I said, it is a trial and error process for you to get to know your skin more deeply and more intimately. And this is where it translates into life, because you can read as many books as you want to, you can study for as long as you want to, you can try to take on as much information as possible, but at a certain point in your life, you are just going to have to be okay with getting in there, jumping in there, and making some mistakes. And that is something that I struggled with a lot. It was being wrong, making a mistake, making a wrong turn, failing. Because when you fail, when you fall flat on your face, it's not a good feeling, right? And there's a lot of shame associated with that. And I'll be completely honest with you. I have carried a lot of shame with me for a long time from my failures from the past. Why do I do that? You know what I mean? But learning to be okay with failure and actually kind of re-examining some of the failures of my past and actually seeing how they've pushed me in the right direction. Like, was it hard and challenging to go through those failures? Was it embarrassing? Did I carry shame from that? Yeah, it was. But ultimately, I can look back and trace that my failures actually were blessings. They actually redirected me to where I needed to be in my life. Now, this is something that I've shared on my podcast, and I promise you, I'm not like shamelessly plugging this, but this is just such a great example of how this lesson has helped me so much. Is because I lost my job twice in a row. And I had a lot of shame and a lot of guilt around that. You know, that's not something that people really want to openly share because it feels like a failure on your part, right? And for me, for a long time, it did. But when I look at that, that was the catalyst. That was the push that I needed. It was the redirection that I needed to get started on what I was actually passionate about, which is this channel. So like if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be making this video. We wouldn't be hanging out right now. So do you see how that failure actually was a blessing for me personally? Everybody has their own story, but I had to fail in that career to know that I needed to stop trying to pursue it. I needed to not be in it anymore. I needed to change something. I needed that failure. And at the time, I was not super comfortable with it, I will admit to you, but I have become more comfortable with it over time. And I have been a little bit more like, yeah, let's just jump in there. Let's do it. And I've learned that through skincare. Every time that I failed in my skincare, I gained valuable knowledge that helped me make better choices in the future, that helped me understand my skin just a little bit better. Every time I failed in life, I've been able to look at that situation, gain information, and figure out how can I make better choices in the future? How can I show up in a better way? How can I bring my best qualities to the future situation that's coming up, right? So skincare taught me to be comfortable with failure. It taught me to be comfortable with trusting my instinct, trusting myself, knowing that the answers are within me, knowing that it's okay to make mistakes as long as I learn from them, as long as I grow from them, as long as I continue to progress in my skincare, but also in life. Just trust myself and I'll go far, and so will you. So the second life lesson I want to talk about is patience. This is actually something I've talked about a lot through this skincare as self-care series, and actually a lot on my skincare channel. You know what I mean? Like through my videos, I mention patience a lot because I honestly do think that developing patience as a skill is vital to the success of your skincare journey. And it is not an easy lesson to learn. I mean, speaking about being comfortable with failure, I had to fail a lot. And a lot of the failures I've had, right? Really, it's just information gathering. But a lot of the times where I've like done like not great things with skincare, let's put it that way, it's been due to being impatient. It's been trying to hurry my skin along. It's been trying to like get fast results and really push my skin into submission, into doing what I want it to do. That is, I think, a natural kind of a feeling to have, especially if you're struggling with like, if you're struggling with acne, if you're struggling with dark marks, if you're struggling with self-esteem tied to your skin, you do want to improve it as fast as you possibly can. Your skin can only handle so much. And, you know, I can attest, pushing my skin into submission, into doing what I wanted it to do, regardless of what it's telling me, right? Ignoring myself, not trusting myself, but just pushing forward impatiently for results, always backfires. Always does. And that is really like kind of almost like the birth of my channel, where I really started to pick up subscribers and viewers, was because I was making videos about my damaged moisture barrier. And how do you think I damaged my skin's moisture barrier? By pushing it too far with chemical exfoliants, by using harsh ingredients, by feeling irritation on my skin, but being like, nah, I'm just going to keep going further because I want results. I cannot be waiting around for these results. Slow and steady does not win the race. Yeah, okay, so guess what happened? I broke my skin. And this so relates to life, right? Patience, actually, you know, really taking on the skill, and I do call it a skill, the skill of patience in every area of your life is a challenge, but it's a challenge worth taking on. I have learned patience through YouTube. I actually tried to start a YouTube channel in 2013. If you really wanted to look back, you can find those videos. They're still up here. But I really, like, when I graduated college, I was like, I am gonna be a YouTuber. Like, it was just, there's just something in me that just drew me so strongly to YouTube. And I knew that it was where I needed to be. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And I did it for a year. And then I gave up. Why? Because it wasn't happening fast enough for me. You know, after a year, I had I think 100 subscribers. I don't think I had much more than that. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Maybe this just isn't for me because it's just not happening. I gave it an entire year. I was consistent. I uploaded once a week, every single week for an entire year. I have 50 some videos. I only have 100 subscribers and this isn't working out. So I quit because it didn't happen on my timeline. The point of this is I gave up too soon. And the funny thing is, one of the very last videos I made before I gave up actually ended up getting a lot of views. It took a long time. Patience. It wasn't viral. It wasn't an overnight success, but slowly and surely that video started to gain more views and then more views and then more views and then more views. But guess who checked out, who tapped out too soon to capitalize on that? This one over here. Because I was so impatient. And I put this weird timeline on success. I was like, well, if it doesn't happen in a year, then it's not happening. Like, who am I to determine how long a dream or a goal is supposed to take? It takes as long as it takes, Kelly, right? So that's where patience comes in. Because I was so impatient, I gave up too soon. And it all worked out okay, right? Because I'm here now, right? We're here together now in the very right moment. So trust the timing of your life. You know, we can make plans, right? We can put timelines on things, but ultimately those are meaningless because things take as long as they take. And I want to talk about how I've learned to take care of my mental health. When I first got really obsessed with skincare, with the hobby, if you will, you know, the practice of skincare, not just putting it on, because I've kind of always done that. But when I got really into it, you know, that moment when you fell down the rabbit hole? That moment in my life, I was really lost. I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I was not happy. I was completely off center. You know, I had gone into college with one idea of what I wanted to do with my life. It was a very strong conviction, a very strong passion of mine. And as I went through my degree, I had some experiences that really put me down, that really crushed my confidence, that really shook me. You know what I mean? And I guess basically at the core of it made me feel that I did not have the talent, I did not have the stuff to go into the career that I thought I wanted to go into. And so I got my piece of paper, I got my degree, but I had lost my passion. You know, I had lost my self-confidence in the direction I thought my life was supposed to go into. And so I was just at this place in my life where there were a lot of possibilities, but there was just a lot of uncertainty. And of course, a lot of pain and trauma from that experience, right? Losing your passion. That's tough. So at that time, you know, I was just completely lost. I didn't know what to do. But I had to do something, right? Like I had to work. I have bills to pay. I have student loans to pay. I have to make money. I have to live. And so I just kind of was trying out a lot of different things, but I was scared. I was confused. I had no purpose. And skincare came into my life in a deep way during that time. And it kind of, it's weird to be like, it gave me purpose, but it just gave me something to get excited about. You know what I mean? Because looking for jobs, trying to figure out what new career I wanted to go into that I had no skills in and I didn't have a piece of paper for, a degree. Yeah, that's not fun. That wasn't exciting for me. That was scary. But skincare was fun. And I think that's why I attached myself to it so much. And of course, I wanted to improve my skin and all of that. But there was a deeper attachment at that time for me. I truly believe that. And I think that's why my passion for skincare is so anchored. And I think it's never gone away because it has been so meaningful to me. But, a couple years into me being really into skincare, I fell into a good career. And I really did fall into it. The job was offered to me. I didn't even seek it. It was offered to me. And I became an optician. I was a licensed optician for 4 years and almost 5 years, actually. And yeah, it was a job that I was good at. There were certain aspects of it that felt meaningful to me, which was helping people find glasses that they not only felt like beautiful in or felt confident in or that they wanted to wear, you know what I mean? Glasses that made them feel cool, but also just glasses that gave them the best vision possible too. And so I was really committed to that aspect of it, but I didn't really at my core get fulfillment from it. It wasn't my passion. I just fell into it. I was okay at it. I was good at it. And there was things about it that were rewarding, but on the whole, it was almost like I was living somebody else's life because this isn't what I planned. This isn't what I wanted for myself. It was a good job. It was okay money, It was steady. I was doing better than most people, but it wasn't my life. And on top of that, like the workplace that I was in it was a rough work environment. And so eventually it started to just get really hard to get up in the morning to go to work because I was depressed. I think at the time I probably would not have admitted that, but looking back, it's like, yeah, you were in a dark place. But one thing that got me up every morning was skincare. My dedication to just being able to play with my products, to building an effective skincare routine, to trying out something new, to doing different layers. And, sometimes people ask me do you really do so much skincare and so many steps in the morning? And honestly, yeah, I do. And it really is rooted back to this time because that's what made me happy in the morning. That's what made me get kind of excited to get ready, was to put on my skincare. And it kind of just became this not only the excitement of something to look forward to, but it was also kind of like that consistent part of my day because I was working in a work environment with really erratic coworkers, and I just didn't know if it was going to be a good day or a bad day. Was I going to be in trouble that day or not? Was I going to have an okay day or was I going to go home in tears? Because that happened a lot. So you can see why skincare kind of became that consistent point and that's something to look forward to and something that kind of anchored me in a really chaotic situation that I was just not energetically capable of getting out of at the time. I said, mental health. It really helped to give me that something to look forward to. And I think if you are in a dark place, if you are struggling, if getting out of bed is hard, if you're just kind of on autopilot a little bit, right? You're not really present. Skincare or just little hobbies, just little things actually can get you through those times. Sometimes it's as simple as just doing the dishes and just having that accomplishment, Sometimes it's just a small little hobby that just kind of helps get your mind off of things, just kind of helps give you an anchor, gives you a routine, gives you something to look forward to, gives you something different. If you're stuck in the same old routine, if it's getting you down, if you're just in a hard place. I'm not saying it has to be skincare, You know, it can be anything of your choosing, but it's actually amazing how those small things can make a huge impact on your life. So if you're comfortable, let me know in the comments one of your life lessons that you've learned through skincare, or any, you know, practice or hobby of your choice. Let me know in the comment box below. If you love this video, you made it all the way to the end, and you're not subscribed to my channel, but you're like digging this like skincare, self-care vibe, please do consider hitting subscribe. I release a lot of new content throughout the week, so you might consider turning on notifications too, so you're never out of the loop. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe in every sense of those words, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye.